A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Tonight we have a special episode covering education and energy. In the first segment, I'll be shortly joined in the studio by Aditya Agrawal, co-founder and director at Invest4Edu, and Peeyush Agrawal, co-founder and CEO at Invest4Edu. And in the second segment, a conversation lined up with Mr. Rupal Gupta, co-founder, MD and CEO, Oriana Power. Aditya, Peeyush, welcome to ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure to be chatting with you today.
Thank you, Ritwika. Thanks for the opportunity.
So, Aditya, let's start with you. Firstly, tell us, give us an overview of the education landscape here, the EdTech landscape as well, and what role really is technology playing in reshaping this entire ecosystem?
So when we talk about the EdTech environment and the EdTech industry, technology has played a massive role. And if you take a look at how the EdTech industry has revolutionized and evolved, tech has helped in moving from traditional learning method to more of personalized learning methods. And with the coming of AI, it's going to become even more accessible, even more better equipped for students to have personalized learning, from moving away from the traditional learning style where each and every student had to go through the entire set of subjects and their curriculum. It's more towards skill learning and professional learning. Just to give you a ballpark figure, so the industry is right now somewhere around 7.5 billion. It is estimated that it's going to grow at a CAGR of 26%, and it's going to reach about 26 to about 29 billion by 2030. So that is the kind of massive upscale that we're going to see in the EdTech industry, and tech definitely is going to play a massive role in revolutionizing that.
Right. Over to you, Peeyush. Now, I understand Invest4Edu, it focuses on a very holistic learning, right, for children. Tell us, what was the inspiration behind it? And like we were just talking about earlier, you guys have 7 co-founders altogether in this company. So Tell us a little bit more about the backstory.
Sure. So the inspiration for this whole idea was actually the sort of the journey that each one of us has gone through right from the childhood. So I'm in a family where we have 4 brothers, and my dad is an engineer, and my elder 2 brothers are engineers. So by default, the aura of the home was that you need to go towards maths, you need to take engineering, irrespective of what individual's interest is, what is something which could be a strength. You go with the flow. So that's how the education things has been picked up in India, about how somebody else is doing it, or what is something which is a safe option.
Sure.
Another aspect of that is, let's say when I went for my higher educations for my MTech, the financial planning was not to an extent that it could be self-funded. So we basically have to pledge all our policies to get a loan for me to do that.
Right.
And that's exactly is the inspiration of Invest4Edu, where we are trying to build that education planning for the kids so that it is more aligned towards what is right for that kid, as well as help the parents towards doing a proper financial planning so that the journey that is being worked upon could be executed without a burden to the parent towards their retirement age.
Right. So then tell me, what makes your platform stand out from the other education-related platforms in the market?
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting question. So the core propositions that we are looking forward to is that we all say every day that every child is unique. But how do we pen down that a child is unique? And that's what is our starting proposition, where we do have a very comprehensive test and counseling sessions with which we first identify a student persona. Once we identify a student persona, we basically look at what is the right target for them. And there we basically engage the student, parents, could be educators, and all the data that we can basically have about the student to ensure that we can get to a right target for them. The target could be a college, it could be a test, it could be a career, it could be even a country. So depending upon that target, then we work towards identifying a complete education journey in terms of what exactly is the test that they need to get to. So we put all of these things together to create that end-to-end journey, and then we look at what is the cost of this journey.
Fantastic. And just picking up from what you said, Aditya, coming to you, the future cost calculator, that is a very unique feature, of the platform. So tell us how it works and how does it help parents, plan their child's, education in the years to come.
So Ritwika, it's been built very thoughtfully. So the idea behind the education cost calculator is to give an accurate future cost of education, could be in India or abroad. And especially when we talk about UG and PG, that is when the maximum outflow that the parent has to go for their kids' higher education. Now, the calculator has been built in such a way where we have taken the general inflation separately and the education inflation separately. Just to give you a stat, education inflation in India is somewhere around 13 to 14%. That means education cost doubles every 5 to 6 years, and that is the highest inflation that you see across. So, which is why what we have done is we have taken a general inflation separately to arrive at the cost of living, and education cost separately to arrive at the actual cost of education. And we have clubbed it together to arrive at an accurate future cost of education. Now, if a parent wants to send their child outside India, say US, and they already have their relatives or friends staying in US, and they know that they need to spend on the cost of living, so they can actually deduct the cost of living and just save for the education cost, which has been arrived looking at that country's education inflation. So what we have added additionally is not decided yet option. So if it's a country and if you say that I have not yet decided whether it's India or study abroad, whether it's engineering or MBA or anything, so you put a not decided there as well, and we will give you a rough cost of future, maybe 10 years from now, what would the future cost of education, and accordingly you can start planning for your child.
That's very interesting. Peeyush, coming to you now, Invest4Edu also helps children find their strengths, to discover their learning styles, right? And also like the career options that, you were mentioning about earlier. Tell me how important is, this personalized approach in the industry today?
The whole world or the EdTech sector is moving towards personalized learning because people have got a better understanding and a better appreciation of that every kid is unique and you cannot paint everybody with the same brush.
Right.
But the thing is whether somebody is equipped to identify and narrow down how this kid is different with the other kid. And I think that is where it is quite important to assess the kid in terms of the right tools and the right expertise to ensure that we are creating a right student persona so that the recommendation that will be coming for that is going to basically be more and more aligned. So two things that we always try to basically get to is one is how we can ensure that we can have a passion to profession journey. And second is, which is a precursor to that, is how we can move from a confusion to clarity state.
And just to add to that, I think so we have recoined KYC on a platform as Know Your Child. So we tell our parents, why don't you come on our platform and do a KYC for your child, which is Know Your Child, through these series of tests that just Peeyush spoke about.
Fantastic. But Aditya, tell me, how challenging is it to scale, such a business? I know you have raised funds. If you can just talk to us about that journey, about raising capital, especially for a company that is in today's education sector.
So Ritwika, as you would know, it's dried up right now, raising funds right now, and especially if you're in the EdTech space, it is even more difficult for obvious reasons. But yeah, we have been lucky enough. The proposition has been so compelling and so interesting. Like we're not into in the business of providing education or teaching anything to the student.
Sure.
We are a platform which mixes planning for your child's higher education in terms of how to fund, how to invest, and also help the child in identifying their potential. So that is unique in itself, and I am not sure if any company is doing that now in India. So we are also unique in that ways. So we were lucky in that sense to be able to raise certain funds.
Yeah.
And if I talk about raising funds, yeah, it was challenging, but we were lucky enough to get that. So we have moved into a model of phygital, where we will spend some kind of money towards digital marketing, and a lot of money will also be spent on ground activities and to make sure that the presence on ground.
Fantastic. And well, Peeyush, tell me, where do you see the company growing in the next 5-10 years perhaps, and how do you see really impacting children's education as a large factor?
So we see that there is probably multiple areas where we would like to establish our company as we move forward. And if I start drilling down, and maybe Adi can add to that, is the first one is what Adi talked about. We would like to establish ourselves as a reliable, trusted source of information which helps students to sort of plan it out their whole career, whole journey, and for parents to plan it out the whole financial part of that. The second area where we basically look forward to is more about strengthening the education journey part of that. Every day there will be a new skill that will be coming. Every, let's say, few years there will be a new career that will be coming. How exactly we are going to keep maturing our system, our AI models, to ensure that our models, our system, our recommendations is going along with the pace of, let's say, the whole ecosystem. The third one is sort of business numbers that we look forward to, where we'll be keep on putting more and more numbers to that. So we would like to basically get to, let's say, 5 million users. We would like to basically get to 2,000 plus cities. So that's the type of penetration which Adi was also referring to, that we would like to go to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, and then make everybody available with that thing that they can basically move forward. For every country, okay, the students are the future. Okay, and we know that we are sort of in a real growing age at this moment from a country perspective, and we would like to basically contribute significantly to that. So more and more we can empower students to basically get to their potential. The byproduct of that is going to be the whole country will grow, and that's where we would like to contribute as much as possible towards, let's say, Viksit Bharat.
Fantastic.
As you would know,
Aditya,
Ritwika, also just to add to it, India's population is the youngest in the world right now. And if you talk about, just to give you another stat, the number of students in India is the highest in the world right now. So you're looking at that population, and imagine if that population gets the proper education and the proper guidance to get to what they want, the kind of motivation factor it will be for that generation, and the contribution that they will do towards the economy if you're talking about Viksit Bharat. And if you're able to cater to that audience and solve their problem, which they are facing right now, and the future problem that they will face, nothing like it.
Fantastic. Well, it was lovely chatting with the both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In conversation now with Rupal Gupta, co-founder, MD and CEO, Oriana Power. Listen in. Welcome to ET Now Leaders of Tomorrow, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, Ritwika. Thank you for inviting me and Oriana Power.
Now, to begin with, India has set ambitious renewable energy targets and is witnessing rapid growth in clean energy adoption. Mr. Gupta, tell us, where do you see we are currently standing in terms of our energy mix, and what are some of the biggest challenges and opportunities in transitioning towards a sustainable future?
Absolutely. So, Ritika, first of all, I would say India as a country is very, very serious about the renewable energy adoption. And in last few years, almost a decade, it's been a great journey. And country has got a good target of 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030, out of which I would say typically 200 gigawatt has already been achieved through largely supported by solar as well as wind. So as a country, we started this journey since 2010, where Jawaharlal Nehru Solar Mission started. And since then, it's been growing in from megawatt to now gigawatt and gigawatt to now multi-gigawatts capacities. So to adoption of these targets and renewable energy, government has set up a lot of PLI scheme, a lot of special state schemes. And that's where special states like Northeast and the J&K have got solar adoption. Now, in terms of challenges, challenges are there a bit, but those challenges in the form of some special policies, PLI scheme for the manufacturing, solar panel manufacturing, which are already being adopted now, and infrastructure challenges are there, and government is working towards to mitigate those challenges. A lot of state has got little poor network of grid infra, which are being catered now. And land acquisition and financing has been the challenge in the renewable or power sector by and large. These power projects, renewable energy projects are a lot of, required substantial land in terms of few acres, 2,000 acres. So land acquisition always been a tough task and is the challenging situation today. And in terms of financing, I would say rather than looking these projects as a general financing of the projects, should fall under a special green energy financing projects where rates are comparatively lesser and faster loan or sanctioning are there for these green energy initiative developments.
Now, Oriana Power has been one of the most successful SME stocks, showing exponential growth in revenues and profitability. What do you attribute this success to, Mr. Gupta, and how do you plan to sustain this momentum as you transition to the main board?
First of all, thank you for appraising our journey and giving the value to the Oriana team. Yes, in last 4 years or 5 years, we have been growing in multifolds. So just to continue your statement, we have been growing in X. We have not been just growing in percentage. So that is the one statement as an organization, and that credit goes to my team. In terms of reasons of this growth, I would say largely because of the policies. We are at the right time with the right policies, framework supporting to the country. And obviously being Oriana Power, we have taken all these things hand in hand with the governments. The biggest advantage being Oriana Power, we are into small kilowatt to multi-megawatt of projects. So if you'll ask me, I would say there is a special scheme of government of India is called PM Saurya Muft Bijli Yojana that was taken by government of India last year. And we are government of India is targeting of 1 crore household having the solar rooftop at their place. So there the capacity of solar is even less than 3 kilowatt or 5 kilowatt. But being Oriana Power, we are very much into that kind of scale and the capacity of the projects. At the same time, we are also into multi-megawatt of projects of 100 megawatt or plus.
Okay.
So that gives a lot of leverage to the clients and customers. In addition to that, we are very customer oriented. So the geography wise, we have placed ourselves into 23 states. So you would imagine probably we are one or two companies in the country having that much of wide presence, and that gives a lot of reason and comfort to the customers to have the business or association with Oriana Power.
Sure. Now, I read that Oriana Power is also now expanding beyond solar into green hydrogen and e-fuels. Tell us, what is the strategic vision behind this diversification?
So yes, this level is not sufficient. That is not our vision and target. We have a lot of bigger ambitions to have one of the major player in the country and the global platform. So just with the solar, probably we believe will not be enough to achieve our ambitions and targets. So natural requirement comes in from solar to hybrid to wind and then e-fuels, green hydrogen, and also CBG, which is compressed biogas. So I would say as the technology is evolving, client requirements are evolving, energy independence is being talked about at the global level. So energy mix is a natural requirement, and being a renewable energy company, and our name itself says we are a true renewable energy company, true RE. So it gives a lot of reason to not just restrict ourselves on the solar segment, also in addition to keep adding the other closed verticals like hydrogen, e-fuel, CBG, and energy storage.
Now, the renewable energy sector is becoming increasingly competitive with both established players and new entrants. Tell us what sets Oriana apart from the competition.
Competition has been always there in any business or sector. So nothing new in renewable and solar. So I would say you have to position yourself within the competitive market. And our quality comes in because as we are adding new verticals, I've just talked about. Parallel to this, we have been always evolving about new technology and solutions. So floating solar is one of the examples we have added in the last 3-4 years. So these kind of innovative solution always gives us leverage to be ahead of competition.
Sure.
So if I give another example, Oriana Power is developing one of the largest agro photovoltaic solar power plant in the country, and that too in the Delhi NCR region. In fact, it's a Delhi region. So you can imagine, what kind of projects we are developing, what kind of solutions we are evolving for the customers, and that keeps us ahead of the market and competition. We started our journey through small scale rooftop. Today we are doing 130 megawatt plus of open access in Tamil Nadu. now green hydrogen and BAS, floating solar. So the good advantage of Oriana Power, we have the same clientele for my upcoming avenues, my upcoming new verticals. So simple reason, and that is keeping us little ahead of most of our counterparts or competitors.
Now, given the rapid technological advancements in renewables and energy storage, tell us, how is Oriana investing in R&D and innovation? Are there any breakthrough projects or partnerships in the pipeline?
Yeah, so honestly, Oriana Power, as I said, we just don't rely on solar or one kind of solution. We rely on multi-dimensional growth of renewable energy space, be it any renewable side of it. So on the same note, we have added or we have done the partnership with the US-based company called Split Water, and that too for the green hydrogen business. They are one of the leader and global player for the green hydrogen e-fuels. And in India, along with them, we are establishing the manufacturing facility for electrolyzers. So this factory is coming up 2026, 500 megawatt, another 500 megawatt by 2027. Second, on the partnership side, we have done the recent partnership with the state government, Rajasthan, where we have done the MOU of 10,000 crore for the renewable energy development, again, in all the space, all the sectors or subsectors of renewable energy.
Now, Mr. Gupta, government policies and incentives play a crucial role in the renewable energy industry. How do you perceive the evolving regulatory framework, and what policy measures would you like to see further accelerate the sector?
So, Ritika, this is very important for this sector and the further growth and achieving the target what we have set as a country. So, policies has been in general very supportive, very sector supportive, but still there are a lot of scope for the improvement, like PLI for the manufacturing. So, hydrogen PLI, electrolyzer PLI, now solar cell PLI, all these things already been implemented, but there's still a lot of things to be implemented, like I would say challenges are there in terms of state policies. A lot of states are not very renewable energy prone, and they have some reservations or policies are not in favor of renewable. So I would say there should be a central policy which is being adopted by all these states, and a single window clearance should be there for all these developments of renewable sector.
Now, Oriana's journey from an SME to a 5,000 crore market cap company is truly inspiring. What advice would you give to those aspiring MSME entrepreneurs to scale their businesses?
I would say we don't know when we have reached to this level. It's been in no time. God has been very kind. Investors, team, my close peers, they all have been very kind to take us to this level, and we don't know when it has happened. So honestly, I'm not the right one to advise people. But yes, I can share my experience. Only one thing which is very important in this space is the consistency and obviously the honesty towards your client. So that is where a lot of entrepreneurs or the promoters has a different mindset for the short-term goal. So my sincere guidance and advice to all these close fellows, I would say. So advice is they have to be very loyal and honest to the client, and always consistency is important.
Absolutely.
They have to be always play within your domain and the core strength. Never get diversified into so many things. So let's say Oriana Power is into renewable space. So our focus for day and night remains towards renewable energy and close by businesses.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Gupta. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you, Ritwika, for the time and the interview questions. I wish you all the best.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.